The blood was still warm on Eliza's hands when she realized she wasn't dreaming. The knife slipped from her grip, clattering against the tiled kitchen floor. Her husband lay at her feet, his body twitching before falling still. For years, she had begged herself to stay calm, to endure, to survive. Tonight, survival had taken an entirely different shape. Her chest rose and fell in frantic bursts. She pressed her back to the counter, sliding down until she was sitting on the cold floor. Her tears mixed with the sweat dripping down her face. She hadn't planned this. She had only meant to push him away when he cornered her again, his words slicing sharper than the blade she now saw gleaming beside his still body. Her thoughts tangled in a fog of shock and guilt. Should she call the police? Should she scream for help? No, if she did, who would believe her? He was the respected one, the man with influence, the charming husband who convinced everyone she was unstable, fragile, weak. She was the wife who kept quiet. Who would believe she had fought for her life and not plotted his death? Her phone buzzed on the counter. The screen lit with her sister's name, Grace. Eliza stared at it, frozen. Grace had begged her countless times to leave him, to take her son and disappear. Eliza had always refused, too afraid of what he would do if she tried. Now he could never hurt her again. But instead of freedom, the air tasted like iron and panic. Headlights flashed through the blinds. Her stomach lurched. A car pulled into the driveway. She darted to the window, pulling the curtain back just enough. Grace's car. No, Eliza whispered, shaking her head. Not now, not like this. A knock rattled the front door. Eliza, it's me. You didn't answer your phone. I brought dinner. Eliza's mind raced. The body was still on the floor, blood creeping toward the rug. She grabbed the knife with trembling hands, shoved it into a plastic bag, and stuffed it under the sink. She wiped her palms against her jeans, but the stains clung stubbornly. Grace knocked again, firmer. Eliza, open up. With no time left, Eliza pulled her sweater sleeves over her hands and forced her shaking legs toward the door. She opened it, her face pale, her smile brittle. Grace's eyes widened instantly. Oh my God, what happened to you? Eliza shook her head, voice breaking. Nothing. Just a long day. But Grace wasn't convinced. She stepped inside, setting a bag on the table. Her gaze swept the kitchen, stopping abruptly on the smear of red Eliza had missed on the floor. Her expression shifted from confusion to alarm. Eliza, she whispered, her voice trembling. What did you do? Eliza's throat closed. The words clawed at her chest, desperate to escape, but fear held them back. She felt Grace's hand on her arm, steady and firm. Their eyes met, and in that moment, Eliza realized the truth couldn't be buried. Her lips quivered as she finally whispered, I had no choice. The ticking clock filled the silence that followed. The nightmare had only begun. Harper startled awake at the sound of a knock. The clock read midnight. Her apartment was silent, the kind of silence that thickens the air. She sat up slowly, her pulse quickening. No one ever came this late. Another knock followed slow, deliberate. Harper tiptoed to the door, pressing her eye to the peephole. The hallway was empty, confusion tangled with fear. She backed away, clutching her robe. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. She grabbed it, her stomach dropping as she read the message. "You shouldn't ignore me, Harper." Her throat tightened. She typed back quickly, "Who is this?" The reply came instantly, "Check your mailbox." Every instinct told her not to, but she couldn't resist. She slipped into her shoes, grabbed the flashlight she kept for power outages, and crept downstairs. The mailboxes stood in the dim lobby. Her key scraped against the lock. Inside, a single envelope waited. Her name, no stamp. No return address. Hands trembling, she tore it open. A Polaroid slid out her, sitting at her desk, headphones on, oblivious. The photo had been taken through her window. Her scream caught in her throat. She spun around, flashlight beam slicing across the shadows. Empty. She bolted back upstairs, locking the door behind her. Her phone buzzed again. "You look beautiful when you're scared." Tears blurred her vision. She wanted to call the police, but what would she say? A photo? A text? They would dismiss her as paranoid. She thought of her last job at the clinic, of the angry patient who had warned her. She'd regret leaving him behind. The memory haunted her now. Could it be him? She sat awake until dawn, the flashlight clutched in her lap, eyes on the window. Exhaustion pressed against her bones, but fear kept her sharp. In the morning, she forced herself into the shower, steam filling the bathroom. Her phone buzzed again. Nice shower. She dropped the phone, a scream ripping from her chest. He was still watching. Somehow, even here. The final message came moments later. "We need to talk. Tonight. Same time. Don't make me come inside." Harper collapsed against the wall, sobs shaking her body. She was trapped, terrified, but beneath the fear, something hardened. If he thought she would break, he was wrong. Tonight, she would be ready. Selena stood on the bridge where her father had died, the wind cutting through her coat like knives. The city shimmered in the distance, its light swallowed by the restless river below. 3 years had passed since his suicide, yet the email she received yesterday shattered everything. "You don't know the truth about your father." Attached was a photo of a folder stamped confidential. She waited, nerves sparking, until a hooded figure stepped from the shadows. "You came," he said. He handed her a flash drive. "This will tell you what they did to him. But once you see it, there's no going back." Before she could ask more, a black SUV screeched onto the bridge. Men spilled out, armed and fast. "Run," the man whispered. Selena bolted. Her boots pounded against the pavement, her lungs burning as shouts filled the night. She clutched the flash drive like it was her only lifeline. Ducking down the stairs to the riverside path, she pressed herself into the shadows. Flashlights swept across the ground, voices sharp and angry. Her phone buzzed, a new message. "Don't trust him. The truth will destroy you." Her heart lurched. Who was lying? Who was using her? She fled through the trees, finally reaching the safety of her apartment. Inside, she locked the door, double-checked the windows, and slid the drive into her laptop. The files unfold a web of corruption, bribes, threats. Her father hadn't taken his life. He had been silenced. A video appeared. Her father's tired face filled the screen. "If you're watching this, I failed. They'll come for you." "Trust no one," Selena sobbed, pressing a hand to her mouth. Her phone buzzed again. "Now you know. They'll be coming for you next." The truth was out, and it was more dangerous than the lie. Nadia's breath came in ragged bursts as she crouched inside the abandoned train yard. Rain slicked the rusted tracks, and the silence pressed heavy on her chest. The satchel over her shoulder felt like a ticking bomb. Inside were documents proving everything: corruption, disappearances, the women who had fought and lost before her. She hadn't chosen this fight. It had chosen her. A hooded whistleblower stepped forward, holding out his hand. "Give it to me. I'll get it out." But before Nadia could decide, floodlights blazed. Armed men swarmed the yard, their boots pounding like thunder. "Run!" the whistleblower shouted. She sprinted between train cars, bullets sparking against metal. The satchel thudded against her side, every step a battle between survival and collapse. She dove into an old freight car, slamming the door shut, heart hammering in the dark. Her phone buzzed. A message glowed. "Upload now. Link secure." Hands trembling, she pulled out her laptop, connecting to the link. Files dragged. The progress bar crawled. 80%, 95%. The door burst open. A masked man stormed inside, weapon raised. Nadia froze. The progress bar hit 100. Upload complete. Relief and terror collided in her chest. She had done it. Even if she didn't survive, the truth would. Sirens wailed outside. Police lights flooded the yard, chaos erupting as the men scattered. Nadia collapsed against the wall, sobbing, clutching the satchel as though it still carried the weight of her father. Her friends, every woman silenced before her. Dawn broke over the horizon. She sat in the back of an ambulance, trembling but alive. The files were out. The truth was free. She whispered, "They can't bury us all, and neither can they silence you." If this story gripped you, don't forget to subscribe, share, and comment your thoughts. Your support keeps these powerful stories alive.